My name is Joan Yoshioka, Joanyoshioka. Good evening, Mr. Cogswell and DOFA staff members. My name is Joan Yoshioka. I'm a hunter, a conservationist, and a resident of Hawaii, and have been all my life. I hold a current state of Hawaii hunting license, and I've had a hunting license most of my adult life. I'm here representing myself and would like to share my views on the Nāpu Conservation Project at Pu'uwa'awa'a and Pu'u'anahulu. I am in general support of the draft habitat conservation plan for game management at Pu'uwa'awa'a and Pu'u'anahulu. I firmly believe that the native plants and animals, both common and rare and endangered, should be protected from the harmful effects of pigs, goats, cattle, and sheep that the game management area will support. I also understand DOFA's conflicting mandates requiring the conservation of native habitats and the native species they support, yet providing opportunities to hunt in GMAs by allowing game mammals to coexist with them, when most scientific research demonstrates the two mandates are incompatible. So in my comments tonight, I'm sharing and offer sound and balanced feedback that reflect my understanding of DOFA's challenges and request the following changes to the HCP. In the HCP, it's difficult to ascertain the size of small exclosures and wonder if small might be too small. I encourage DOFA to enlarge the small exclosures to provide adequate area for the population of covered species to expand naturally, which is necessary for long-term viability of the population. Like animal populations, plant populations move, albeit slower. If the exclosures are not large enough to accommodate this natural dispersion and movement, the seeds from the fence plants could easily disperse beyond the fences and likely be eaten. Without natural regeneration, the plants within the exclosures will grow old and die with no future generation of plants to replace them. Secondly, it's also important to note that the take of a mature kawila, just for example, that has taken hundreds of years to reach maturity is not biologically equal to a young sapling that might be newly outplanted as a mitigation measure in its place. It may take decades for the outplant to become mature enough to reproduce and ensure its survival. Until then, may exceed the 25-year span of this HCP. For that reason, the 855 mitigation target for this species may not be adequate for the possible take of 805 very old, naturally occurring plants. So some of the assumptions may need to be revisited. I am aware that the views of others about the loss of hunting opportunities if areas were fenced, and the frustration that the actions to protect threatened and endangered species are reducing the number of game animals that can be harvested. But as a hunter and a person who cares about my environment, I ask that you remember that the threatened and endangered plants found at Pu'uwa'awa'a and Pu'u'anahulu are unique to Hawaii. That means their ancestors came to Hawaii long before humans arrived and have survived thousands of years to become uniquely Hawaiian. Some species are only found on this island and some only from that area. We all have a moral obligation to ensure their survival beyond our generation and often short-sighted needs. Looking at the maps, the total area of the fences represent only 4.5% of the GMA. Even if that percentage was expanded to 10%, that is still a very small percentage and will certainly not affect the total numbers of animals in the area. If feeding my family is my goal, I know that the fences will help my chances of getting an animal. As a conservation, on the other hand, I support managing for the lowest number of game animals in the area. The Pu'uwa'awa and Pu'uanahula area holds unique natural communities, including the lowland forests of Lama, Ohia, Kawila, Ohemakai, and Wili Wili that we can't find anywhere else in the islands, only there. I'd like to thank the DOFA staff for working so hard on the HCP and encourage them to continue to improve the HCP to ensure the protection of these special and irreplaceable natural resources. That should be our legacy, and that should be really all of our legacies. So thank you very much for your time and consideration. Do you have any questions?